update regarding Operation Eclipse. As you're aware, Operation Eclipse has been established to disrupt criminal syndicates and individuals involved in illicit tobacco and criminal activity, including acts of violence and property damage. This morning, Serious and Organised Crime Branch, with the assistance of 45 from police, from Star Operations, Western Districts, Eastern Districts, Digital Evidence Section, Confiscation Section, have arrested 5 men. We've arrested a 34-year-old man from Blair Athol, and he's been charged with aggravated fray and aggravated assault. A 31-year-old man from Blair Athol, and he's been charged with aggravated affray, aggravated attempt cause serious harm, and money laundering to the value of $159,000 for a search that occurred in September. We've also arrested a 23-year-old man from Blair Athol, and he's been charged with aggravated affray, aggravated attempt cause serious harm, and money laundering to the value of $54,000 for a search that also occurred in September. We've arrested a 33-year-old male from Walkley Heights, and that man's been charged with aggravated affray and aggravated attempt cause harm. We've arrested a 23-year-old man from Dudley Park, and that man's been charged with aggravated affray and aggravated assault. We've also searched 6 residential and business premises through the suburbs in Blair Athol, Walkley Heights, Sheidow Park, Dudley Park and Morphett Vale. This morning, police have seized mobile phones, clothing, CCTV, tobacco products, $114,500 in cash, a Toyota Hilux that will be subject to restraint after forensic analysis, and also confiscated a Range Rover Sport to the value of $375,000. The charges relate to an alleged assault and affray that occurred back on the 18th of August 2024 at a Southern Suburbs restaurant. We will allege that the behaviour that occurred is typical of the standover and intimidation tactics being used by these syndicates to commit their activity within the illicit tobacco trade. The offending has actually been identified as a review of other investigations, which is excellent work by the investigators to identify that and subsequently to today's charges and searches. I won't discuss the allegations any further though in relation to that. Bail has been refused on the 5 accused, and they'll appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court this afternoon and or tomorrow morning. Just want to make it clear, South Australian Police will continue to investigate offences of violence and extortion and pursue criminal charges even where victims are unwilling or reluctant to assist the police and sufficient evidence exists. We'll use the full suite of legislation available to us to prevent further violence and continue to disrupt the activity that's occurring to ensure public safety. We're going to continue to work with our partners and identify all opportunities to investigate these offences of violence, including assault, extortion, the people that are responsible for the arsons, and money laundering. I'm asking anyone that is involved in the illicit tobacco trade or has information, even if you're reluctant and you're reluctantly involved, to contact the police and speak to us in relation to how you can assist and prevent the further acts of violence that are occurring in South Australia. We're also aware that people are fearful to contact the police. Those people need to be confident that South Australian Police have previously managed investigations of this nature with the support of those witnesses and victims and achieved successful outcomes. I ask them to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. I'll not take any questions.
We saw an arrest on a senior figure last week. How much of a dent have these arrests put on the illegal tobacco trade?
Okay, it's clear to us that the arrests today will significantly disrupt those involved in the illicit tobacco trade, and it's a really positive outcome with the work that's been conducted in the past week.
How significant is 5 arrests in one day as compared to the whole operation so far?
Well, I think if you consider we've used 45 staff from a variety of areas today, it shows SAPOL's commitment to what we're going to do to ensure community safety and continue to disrupt this activity.
We've seen over 100 incidents that are happening in Melbourne. Do you think South Australia will get to this? Will get to that?
I'm confident that with the resources that we're providing currently and the disruption tactics that we'll use, I can honestly say I'm confident that that won't occur. We're also extremely lucky. We have a full suite of legislation here with different conditions. We have presumptions against Vale for blackmail and extortion that isn't available to other areas. So with that full suite of legislation, if people do come to South Australia and they commit offences, we will be seeking to remand them in custody pending trial.
Is it hard to stop the illegal tobacco trade when people are operating overseas?
With all of these investigations, you're going to have reaching from different areas. We're working with our partner agencies to ensure that we can continue to disrupt the activity and ensure the safety of the community.
Is it safe to say that these 5 men were working with the 34-year-old man from Blair Athol that was arrested last week?
I won't comment on the links in relation to where they're from or who they're aligned with. All I'll say is that the activity that's occurred today will disrupt, in the short term, the activity that's occurring.
Can you talk to me about these standover tactics that we're seeing at the moment? I know there's messages and threats to burn businesses down and a figure that they have to pay a month. What are these standover tactics?
Okay, we're fully aware that there is intimidation and standover occurring, including blackmail and extortion within the illicit tobacco trade and the criminal activity that comes with that. I'd like to say though, historically South Australia has had a lot of success in investigating matters of this nature, and in particular, where victims are reluctant or not willing to assist the police, we've still achieved successful outcomes in organised crime investigations and outlaw motorcycle gang investigations.
We know that fire bombings are being investigated as some of those intimidation tactics, but just this morning, one's being investigated to a break-in. Are we seeing like a large scale of different types of tactics? Can you sort of talk us through what intimidation tactics are being used?
Yeah, we're still trying to assess whether the break-in this morning is aligned with this activity. Yes, it was a tobacco shop. We're aware it has been broken into on 3 occasions. We're currently receiving very little cooperation from the owners and or the victim. But once again, I'll just reinforce, for those people that are committing those offences, we can proceed and pursue charges even without the assistance of those victims.
Has there been any liaising with Melbourne Police, considering they've been experiencing this for a greater period of time before it started to hit in South Australia?
Yeah, there's ongoing liaison with all of our partner agencies, whether that be Consumer and Business Services and other law enforcement, to identify the appropriate activity we can undertake to disrupt what's occurring.
And the South Australian government has been allocating resources to this task force to make sure that you're cracking down here in South Australia, but given there are elements of similar tactics and crimes popping up all over the country, Victoria, other states as well, would you also welcome support from the federal government as well?
What I will say is, currently, South Australia are receiving good support, and we're taking this extremely seriously, and we have resources across the state, both from within South Australian Police and other partner agencies, to support and undertake the activity with.
Can you tell us whether Al Mansouri was one of the arrests today?
Yeah, I won't be commenting on who we've arrested at this stage. As said, 5 men have been charged, and they'll appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court either this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Could you tell us how many incidents are currently being investigated with links to Operation Eclipse?
Yeah, currently there's 17 arsons that we're investigating, and we're in the process. We'll conduct a full review of those arsons and identify any links between them, which has already been occurring. But with the increased resourcing, what we're going to do around those investigations will only improve.
The Craigmore store was broken in 3 times. Is it unlicensed, and do police know why it's been repeatedly targeted?
No, we don't. And that'll form part of the broader investigation in relation to those break-ins.
Is it licensed or unlicensed, the Craigmore?
That I can't comment on, I'm unsure.
Last question, please.
I was going to say, where are police at with identifying where a lot of this illegal tobacco is coming from?
Yeah, as I said, we work with our partner agencies, so Consumer and Business Services, Australian Border Force, and there is a joint effort to identify where it's coming from, particularly though Eclipse is responsible for looking after and ensuring public safety in South Australia and preventing any further violence.
What's your message to these criminals?
What I'd say is, anyone that's currently involved in criminal activity in South Australia that's aligned with the illicit tobacco trade, whether we have victims assist us or not, we can progress investigations and pursue prosecutions.
Can you please comment, is Operation Eclipse or officers from Operation Eclipse working with Operation Mel?
As I said earlier, we're using all resources from across South Australian Police, and that's evident with what occurred today, that we've used resources from 5 different areas.
Is there hope that stronger government enforcement might also help the illegal tobacco trade sort of with regulation?
Listen, as I said previously, we've currently got a very, very good suite of legislation to help undertake criminal investigations of this nature, and we'll be enforcing that full suite of legislation where there is presumptions against bail and there is serious criminal offending. So, for example, aggravated affray that they've been charged with has a term of prison of 5 years. But if you come here and you commit offences where victims are still unwilling, and I just reinforce that, we'll continue to investigate it, and I just ask that those victims that are reluctantly involved in this criminal activity or trade to come forward and speak to police.
Thanks everyone.